Just believe. That's such a deep statement. Just believe. I'm just watching The Chosen, and I'm watching season 1, and it's where Jesus had a sit down with Nicodemus. And obviously Nicodemus was very curious, and he was asking a lot of questions, and Jesus was telling him about, the kingdom of heaven, and just a lot that the human mind cannot apprehend. And I realized, as obviously in the show, he was portraying like obviously what Jesus was talking about and was telling Nicodemus about, if you can't believe what you can see in the flesh, then how do you think you can apprehend or believe what, the kingdom of God or the kingdom of heaven holds? And I just realized, like, many times when Jesus would talk and he would tell people, he would be teaching people about things in regards to like heaven, I feel like it's simple. I feel like the kingdom of God, anything to do with God, is simple. The reason why it's so hard for humanity to apprehend and understand how the kingdom of God works is because society has conditioned our minds to see it in the physical for us to be able to believe it. But it makes sense now why Jesus said in the word for us to have childlike faith. Because with children, they don't expect to see it for them to believe it. You can tell a child to imagine for anything they want. And if you hear their imagination, a child will come up with like, oh, I want a unicorn and I want this and I want that. Meaning their imagination is so wide and so broad. They're not limited to what society tells them to be limited to. And that statement, just believe, man. Just believe. I feel like that's the main message Jesus kept telling people. Even the times he would speak in parables, it was a way of him just telling people, just believe. Like, you don't need to have the proof first for you to be able to believe it. Like, just believe. Like, that, it's that simple. But the problem with humanity, it's overcomplicated the kingdom of God and anything to do with God. And that it's not normal for you to believe for something that you have not seen or touched with your physical eyes or touched with your physical hands. But then that's not faith. Literally, faith is like, if Jesus stands here right in front of me and tells me, tomorrow you're gonna own a house, just believe me. He doesn't want me to start thinking, oh, where's the money gonna come from? I've not even found the house. Like, what do you mean? That's not how it works. No, because the kingdom of God anyway does not work according to how earth has been conditioned to work. The kingdom of God is like an upside down kingdom. It's a kingdom where you have to believe things first before you even see them in the physical. It's like when people, like, let's say somebody's sick and they'll be told you're healed. It's like when Jesus would heal people and he told them, your faith has made you well. They were not healed first, and then Jesus would tell them, your faith has made you well. Or even like, if we think about like the blind men, like Bartimaeus, they had not regained sight physically, and then Jesus had told them, okay, you have received your healing. No. They were still physically blind, but then Jesus told them that they had received their healing. So he told them something that in the spirit has already been confirmed, but in the physical has not yet happened. And I feel like it's just as simple. God is just telling us, just believe. Like, you don't have to know the how, the when, the where. Like, this doesn't make any sense. If God tells you, by next year, this and this is gonna happen, be like, okay, if you say so. And I like the way Pastor Mike from Transformation Church, there's a sermon he did, and he was like, just give God your if you say so. That's all you gotta do. Humanity has overcomplicated so much. And all God is telling us to do is just believe. It's that simple. Just believe. Don't try and think about, oh, this doesn't make any logical sense. Don't waste your neurons and all that in your brain. Like, God is saying just believe. Because at the end of the day, it's not for you to do it. It's for Him to do it because it's for His glory. Just believe.